Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 212.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
two crazy ketos. And if you're new to our channel, welcome.
Yes, welcome. If you're new here, say hi down below.
Now, here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday, we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way, every single time I'm just a little bit squeaky, you'll be alerted to it.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch.
Have a kiss on your cheek. I'm sorry.
Rachel has no voice from
screaming. Yes, but what's left of my voice, I would like to shout out my sister-in-law, Becky, who watched our dog Tabitha and cared for the kitties and the chickens and like all of Noah's Ark here at the Stauffer residence so that we could go this weekend to celebrate Caleb's birthday. Yeah. 22.
We had such a great weekend. We did vlog it. That vlog will be coming out Wednesday or Thursday.
It was fun.
We had so much fun. 4 generations walking around Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. Take a look at that.
Yes,
what a great day.
A motley crew that is, but so thankful for the privilege of momming that bunch. I love it. I love it. To God be the glory. So thankful for time together. And we kind of, talked in the vlog for a second, but about the fact that
Don't give away the
Well,
vlog.
I want to just re-note it that like we're pretty plain Janes when it comes to like our house, and like you're never gonna see, like we've got old hand-me-down furniture. I don't have matchy anything in this house.
Not even our sheets.
Because like if we have any extra like money, it's just put into experiences with the family, because honestly, it's like, what is it? Where your heart is, that's where your treasure will lie. And like, that's really what we want to invest in. And we're so thankful that we are not all around a hospital bed this past weekend, but we are just around some fun. But I went on some roller coasters that had me screaming something powerful.
So I did want to just send out well wishes to everybody that was impacted by the tornadoes in the Midwest this weekend.
Oh my gracious.
We're so sorry for anybody who may have been impacted.
Continued prayers for this whole week.
To pray.
Yeah, because this is a lot, to have to go through, and
coming from Florida, we know what it's like to go through natural disasters.
And you're helpless. I can remember our house at one point was in the path of a tornado. And we were, and we were so thankful that we did not get a direct hit from it.
Hit the house behind us, jumped over us.
Destroyed some trees and stuff on the other side of us. But that feeling of helplessness, that there is nothing that you can do. And, you do all the preparation you can to protect your house, to protect your family. But, you have a natural disaster like this. There's nothing that you can do but just wait and brace for impact, and our thoughts and our prayers are with you.
Yeah. So I wanted to give a little shout out today because Perfect Keto is having a cool thing. So they're sponsoring today's video, but this is not like a sale.
No.
They're doing a giveaway.
Yeah.
So I left the link down below, and this is a really cool giveaway. They are giving away 10 Ultimate Collagen Bundles. No purchase necessary.
Yeah.
Okay? So, what it is it's a $200 value, $198.55 if you want to be exact. A keto chocolate collagen, a vanilla keto collagen, a Mexican hot chocolate beauty and sleep, a blueberry pomegranate super reds with marine collagen, and a hazelnut barista blend. All you need to do is use the link down below to register to win.
Hello. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, I will say it was funny. So Michelle says that I need to make an addendum to because like this morning right now, this is the caramel element and hot water.
Yep.
Then that's it. I love it. She goes, I'm going to say I love the chocolate element, hot water, and a scoop of the collagen. She really liked that. She's like, that makes like over the top hot chocolate for the evening. She loves that. But yeah, definitely enter to win.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah, all you gotta do is use the link. You put in all your information, and then they are going to contact the winners directly on Monday, April 10th. You'll be contacted directly by the Perfect Keto for the prize fulfillment, and they're going to cover shipping too. So that's really, really
Can't
cool.
lose. Don't miss out.
Let's jump right into Keto Beyond the Couch. If you are new here,
welcome.
Keto Beyond the Couch is all about subscribers. We love to celebrate wins, talk about success stories, and answer questions and comments that have shown up on our different social media platforms over the last week. Again, we're all about community. So please go join our Mighty Networks community. It is completely free. I saw Joanna said this community is the key. We appreciate that. It's been at our heart to have a community within keto. It's really why we've worked so hard to build this channel over the last 5 years about having community, because we truly believe you can't do this without community.
And you don't need to.
No. So use the link down below. For it's members.twocrazyketos.com. You can join completely for free if you want to support us. Feel free to do that. There you can do a $5 or $10 or a $25 level. We do that instead of using Patreon. But we absolutely love our community. But we're here to support you guys and celebrate. So the way we're going to do this is we just go through all of our comments from the last week. The last 10 or 15 minutes, we address the chat. So if you have a question, hold off till the last 10 or 15 minutes, right around 11 o'clock. Or if you're watching it live anyway. Or what you can do is use the super chat function. That's the $sign that's in the little chat window. You make a little donation to Two Crazy Ketos. It helps benefit us so we can go to different conferences. And then it highlights our screen.
You got a new mug today.
I did get a new mug because we're making our mug collection for Sesame Street, because we're Sesame Street geeks.
Abby Kadabi, and we got a Cookie Monster.
A Cookie Monster. Well, you've had Abby.
Yes, I have.
The last one we need,
but I just love her. I just want to be this person right here.
Yeah.
Just this happy.
Well, now we have a granddaughter, so we can buy that kind of stuff for her.
She actually got her first little Abby doll.
Yep.
This past weekend, so.
Yeah, one of the things we love about SeaWorld is they have Sesame Street there, and our annual passes give us 40%
40% off
so
at a theme park.
Cheaper than going to Walmart.
It's always kind of funny, and we're purchasing a souvenir in the midst of our children, and if you know us, we're pretty cheap, and the children knew your souvenir is the memories.
That's right.
Your souvenirs are the memories.
Now they're like,
here.
why does the grandbaby get stuff?
And it's like they're watching us like, I've never seen my father at a cash register at a theme park purchasing a take-home toy. But yeah, everything gets changed when you're grandparents, right?
Let's jump right into this. We're going to start off with our Keto College Adjunct Professor of the Week. And this one was from Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Cindy said, this is so true. We have a tendency to forget about the little things, like the small victories in our journey to better health, as well as the little things in every other aspect of our lives. And it was a meme she found, said, no matter your situation, find the little things along the way to stay grateful for. They will help you move forward.
Absolutely. Such a powerful reminder. This month, our monthly focus for April is round 4. We're in the 4th month of the year. Can you believe that? We are 4 months into 2023. I mean, that is incredible. And our focus is the battle, and it's a big one. It's one that like really speaks to me is it is you versus lack. A lot of times we don't understand your can do is on the other side of your can't do. That is your opponent. Focusing on lack, that's your opponent. A lot of times we try to be on the same side. Hey, let me tell you about what I can't do, about where I'm short, about where I'm lacking. But you need to understand that like thoughts of lack, that negative thinking, it's really an enemy to your success. It is not going to help you. For you to just sit and be like, I'm going to spend 30 minutes talking about how short I am on things, like where I am undisciplined. That is not good to focus on. So like, thank you, Cindy, for that reminder. If there's something good, if there's something like you had a success, you're 24 hours into doing what is right. Focus on that 24 hours. If we compare ourselves, like we've had 5 years, 6 years on keto, But I'm not 10 years old. I mean, 40s, 50s, I could sit here and focus on the decades that I did things wrong.
Right.
But it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me go forward.
Yeah. I did see a couple people say that they don't really like Mighty Networks, and that's okay. That's why we still have our Facebook family group.
That's right.
Our Facebook family group's not going away. But we are definitely more active in Mighty Networks, and it's because I'm not a big fan of Facebook. I hate every time I open up the Facebook app.
Things getting sold to me.
I see nothing but ads. Like every other post is an ad, and the fact that like we'll talk about something right here, and then like an hour later I'll pick up my phone and there it is being bombarded to me because the app is listening to what you say.
And
so that's why we have Mighty Networks, because we don't have that kind of stuff.
And I do want to thank so much.
And it allows us to do more things.
The moderators that we have in our Facebook group, we're so thankful for you. You guys tirelessly work to make sure that that space that right now currently has more than 12,500 members. That's a lot of people to just kind of be like checking and making sure that it's safe in there. And just a friendly reminder to make our moderators' job a little bit easier. No posting of videos in that group. No posting of like links to sales for things. We're not trying to sell things to people there. That is a community area. And if you're like, hey, I've posted a video link, I've posted a YouTube video in there, and I don't understand why that is just gone.
It's because we can't control
it's
the
because
videos. Sometimes those videos it bring you to someone who's trying to sell you something that we don't necessarily approve of, especially things like exogenous ketones. They slip it in somewhere. And so, yeah, sometimes there's good videos that get deleted, but you can always put up a thing like, hey, Dr. Barry put up this great video.
There you go.
But it's just easier on our moderators to say, all videos get deleted.
Yeah, because I don't want them to be
Or
committed.
you can message us and say, hey, would you mind posting this, and we will post it.
Right, but I don't want somebody to like have to be required to like watch all the videos in order for it to know that like it's safe and not something that's trying to sell somebody. And I know, again, because I don't want to look like a meanie, I know there's a lot of people that have beautiful channels. We celebrate that. We're excited. We want to expand this keto space. So it's fine for people to mention like, hey, I've got, I did a new recipe today, but like we just don't want to put any links to videos.
Yep. So Carrie's got a question for you.
Did Rachel give up coffee and now just drinking Element?
That will never happen.
No, Carrie, I am super not as disciplined as you are. I saw you got 430 days, no caffeine or coffee, which is amazing. We're super proud of you. But I will say that if you're somebody who's trying to cut back and you enjoy a hot flavored beverage, this is really helping me, especially for the last half of a day, to not be drinking so much.
Let's jump into our subscriber of the week. First one is from Stacy.
Hey, Stacy.
Stacy said, almost 2 years living the keto way of life, my perfect trifecta, return to church for my soul, getting mental health for my addictions, yes, carbs and sugar, and living keto for my gut. It only continues to get better. I am blessed.
Oh, Stacy, hot mama, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna need to know where you got your shirt with that cute little neckline. I absolutely love it. That is so elegant.
Oh,
I
Lindsay
love it.
Murphy is here. She said
Welcome,
the Element
Lindsay.
is so stinking good.
It is, right? It's like crazy good.
Yeah, we have a link down for Element in the description. I do want to say Element doesn't do coupon codes. They don't do discounts. So, but when you use our link, you will get a free sample pack, and I think there's 8 packets in there that you get with your order. And then also the cheapest way to buy Element, always the cheapest way. If you've never had Element, we love it because it mixes really, really well. And then it's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, so you're getting lots of sodium. And for those who may be new going, 1,000 milligrams, that's a lot. It's not nearly enough. You need like 4,000 to 5,000 minimum a day, at least a teaspoon of salt a day. So that's about 5 grams of salt per day. But when you buy the 4-box bundle, it's basically buy 3, get 1 free. That is the cheapest way. So use the link that supports the channel. You get free sample pack. And then if you buy the 4-pack, you get a box for free. Next one we have is from Sarah. Sarah said, almost 8-month update. My official 8th month of keto is April 5th. I am almost 50% to my goal weight.
Wow.
I have lost a total of 70 pounds. I'd like to lose 73 more. I'm so excited and proud of how far I've come. It's been a long road, but so worth it. In 8 months, I've reversed my type 2 diabetes, lowered my cholesterol numbers, eliminated several medications.
8 months.
I've gone from a size 24, 26 to a 14, 16. From a 2X, 3X to an extra large, and even some large. I'm still in pre-diabetes range, but getting a CGM is helping me make some tweaks that I hope that take me the rest of the way to a normal A1C. My next big goal that I'm trying to for is to lose 25 pounds by my 25th wedding anniversary at the end of June.
What a cute goal.
It's only 2 pounds a week, so I think this is doable.
I think that's good.
If I don't get there by then, that will be okay, as every day I'm improving my health, and that is the most important part.
Yes.
The beach picture is my starting picture versus now. I also go brave and made a garment for myself out of my hand-woven fabric, which is amazing, that I'm wearing in my current photo. You ready?
Yes. Oh my gracious. Look at you. Oh my gosh. Yes. Right here I actually have, because I love the fact that she has like woven her own fabric. It's not just that she's making something, but she's making the fabric to make something. So just lovely, lovely things. I actually recently wore a scarf that she gifted me that she had made when me and Anthony had a recent movie date, and I absolutely love it because it feels good too. But you are doing so incredibly, and I want you to see what is possible in 8 months. Because it's not just the weight. Look at the health results that she's having, but her attitude is so good. You're working toward that goal for your 25th anniversary, which happy anniversary coming soon to you cute lovebirds. But she's not going to be upset if she comes even short of that goal. Why would you be upset? Don't focus on the lack. Focus on the gain. What you have is so stinking awesome. So proud of you, Sarah.
Okay, so let's take a quick fade to black and come back with all of the comments.
It's almost Easter. It's Easter. What are you hunting for this week? And also, are you going to be coloring eggs? Because I will. I don't know that you don't realize that, but we're going to be coloring some eggs this week.
We are?
I already purchased the old-timey mixed with the vinegar, color the eggs.
Lindsay has a question. She's
Lindsay.
like, how excited are you for KetoCon? Also, how are you packing? I have no clue how to dress for this thing.
Yes.
So, we're very excited.
We're so excited.
How do we pack? I pack about an hour before my flight.
Yes, he does.
Rachel started packing a month ago and will bring way too much.
Yes,
which is why I have to pack an hour before the flight. So, how much room do I have left in my bag after Rachel puts all her clothes? KetoCon is going to be weird for us packing. Usually, it's the lightest, shortest clothes that you can buy. Like, do you have lightweight, like
summer stuff?
Material that wicks away. That's what you would normally want to wear, because it was always in like July and it was ridiculously hot. This year it's in April, so hopefully not so bad. We'll probably bring a mix of things, like some jeans and then some shorts.
Always layers.
But like lightweight.
Sometimes too, anytime you get in a convention center, they're trying to make sure that they're kind of like, they have something everybody needs. So you have to be able to like cool the person who gets hot. Yeah. So if you're somebody who like gets cold easily, which I never was that person, and now I'm kind of that person.
Right.
So I would definitely make sure that you at least have like a cardigan or something that you can like add to.
It can get cold inside.
It can be cold, especially in some of the breakout rooms. And I don't want you to miss the presentation.
Especially ours.
Right, exactly. That's on Sunday. Don't miss that. We're expecting you to be there. But you also don't want to be able to not concentrate on what you're seeing because you're like, I'm so cold, I can't concentrate.
One other thing I highly advise everybody bring if you're going to KetoCon. Some elastic waistband pants so that when you go to Terry Black's across the street, you can eat like 5 pounds of beef.
Obviously.
Right? So like for
it's delicious there.
Going to Austin, Texas is our equivalent of Thanksgiving.
Yes, because there's just so many restaurants.
Just eat all the meat.
It's like no one in Austin better be saying it's hard to go out to eat.
No.
Nobody, because there's so many
You can like
amazing
spit
restaurants
and catch
there.
a beef place.
Yeah, I will still never forget Christy Davis from the Keto Village like showed me a picture of like it was like an overview of her hotel, and she had arrows pointing to like all of the barbecue joints. She was absolutely surrounded with barbecue joints. And I'm telling you, meat by the pound is
That's the way to
always
go.
your best bet. That's going to be like for a keto person, that's where you're going to get the most bang for your buck and be the least disappointed. Don't be buying a barbecue sandwich and then just take the bread off. Buy a half a pound, or a quarter pound or a pound of barbecue.
Yep. Let's get into the comments. First one is from Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Just got home from a cruise that had a port stop in Nassau, Bahamas.
Nice.
I took a small boat trip there to snorkel and swim with turtles. We couldn't have done it without Keto Carnivore for the last 2 years. And Keto Chow has been a part of the journey.
Shout out to Keto Chow. Chris Bear is actually the last. There's Miriam, the last comment I'm seeing before we read this. But yes, Keto Chow has been a huge part of our journey as well. And we're so thankful for them. And being able to do the things that you want to do, not just look the way that you want to look, but to do the things, to be fueled to enjoy your vacations is so nice. Because I can remember in past years, we would look forward to vacations when we were sick and unhealthy and unwell. And you're putting like all of this energy into this vacation, but then you felt like sweaty garbage. And all of a sudden you were asking yourself to like walk further. You were asking yourself to like, have stamina. And we just didn't have it back then.
Can I throw our kids under the bus?
Sure.
We got home at 9 o'clock last night after spending all day at the theme park.
Yeah.
We drove up to Tampa at 5 in the morning on Saturday, walked the park all day, got to our hotel, which, what a nightmare, at 10 o'clock at night for us to walk in, and then we're like, sorry, we gave away your room.
They actually gave away.
We have 2 rooms.
That we paid
gave
for
away your rooms.
And checked into.
Yes, we're checked in. Sorry, we gave away your rooms. Not much we can do. I mean, they ended up fixing it because the guy's like, here, we're just going to give you somebody else's room and pray they don't show up.
We couldn't believe it.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
This is a terrible practice.
But that, and then to get up in the morning, do SeaWorld all day. We get home at 9 o'clock at night. We jump up this morning, 5 a.m. We're raring to go energy. Our kids are still sleeping.
I know. I was like, are you ready for breakfast, Caleb? And it's like, yeah, I'm not. I'm not awake yet. No.
And it's the difference. It's just the energy. Like we're we're double their age.
It's not. It's
You're double
fuel.
your kid's age. Okay, next one is from Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. Joe, I am so flipping excited for you. Congratulations. You've encouraged me to try and get back to exercising. I've been doing a version of low carb, turn keto, turn carnivore over the last 7 years. I lost 100 pounds. Way to go, Jessica. But when my dad passed away last October, I just stopped caring about what I ate and stopped working out. I am back to strict eating and need to get back to working out. Thank you. Rachel, you're always adorable. You're adorable. And I love your constant smiles. Thank you for doing what you do. Well, thank you for watching what we do. Because we can do what we do, but without you, does it matter what we do?
Yeah. I mean, and again, you saw the thing about keto for snorkeling. The fact that I took my swim test and I got in like at such a ridiculous time at 12 and a half minutes to be able to do my swim, my 800-meter swim. And Rachel's like, you mean 800 feet? I'm like, no, 800 meters.
That shocked me.
Right, a half a mile. And they allow you 20 minutes and I did it in 12. Like, to me, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's not a pat on my back. It's a pat on Keto's back.
It really is. And I remember, like, before you were walking out.
And I wasn't even gassed.
You were legit nervous.
Yeah.
You were like, because you're like, the only memories I have of
I was
exercising.
worried about getting cramps. And I just did a whole bunch of electrolytes before I went.
But you still, there's a moment. It's not like we don't have moments when we could focus on where we've lacked in the past. Right. There's moments when we get scared, but we're like, we want to do this, and we want to challenge ourselves. There were so many years that we just didn't even try to challenge ourselves.
Right.
So like, I'm thankful for these moments, but we're doing it afraid, and we show up every day. Like, show up. That's half the battle. More than half the battle is just deciding I'm gonna get, like you're saying, I'm gonna get back to exercising. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna do this.
Next one is from Linda.
Hey, Linda.
I thought I'd let you know what has happened in inches and pounds for my 7 days. 16 3/4 inches and 3.6 pounds.
Wow.
I made the butter mayo and the bread. This has helped me to do better.
I am so stinking thankful for that because I really want you to see, don't look at the pounds because our pounds fluctuate a lot. Like I came back after like being scared on roller coasters, miles and miles and miles of walking, riding in the car over the course of the weekend. We were in the car for like what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like at least more than 8, 9 hours of like just car riding. And so there was some inflammation last night. So I was up last night when I came home because
She was like, I'm up 6 pounds.
6
I'm like,
pounds.
it's not even possible.
So that's the thing. It's like you're just, it's a lot, you
Right.
know, on you. So, you know, just focus on the inches lost.
Right.
Because that is amazing.
Now,
right?
she did not gain 6 pounds of fat. It was inflammation.
No.
Like, I bet you it was way down this morning.
Yeah. Get a good night's sleep. I made sure that before I went to bed, I got me some Keto Chow magnesium inside of this body.
Also, we don't poop on vacation.
That's right. I only poop at home.
Next one is from LFBO.
Hello, how much water do you add to your element? I just bought the chocolate medley and I'm hoping it's not too salty. But now I'm thinking I'm not adding enough water. Yeah, that fixes it.
Yeah,
right?
if you add more water, it won't be as salty. To me, it's very sweet. With the chocolate ones, when we're drinking it hot, I'd say about this much water, probably even a little bit less. This is a big cup.
Like it's big as my head.
Usually, when we're making it as a hot chocolate, it's about 14 ounces of water.
It's a lot of water.
But when we're just doing like a regular Element drink, if I'm walking around with Element or Redmond Relight or any of those, it's usually like a big 26 ounce, like a blender bottle is what we usually do.
Right.
Next one is from, I'm not even going to try.
But hello, welcome.
I know they were for India. Wants to know how much fat do you eat in each meal? Okay.
That's a great
controversy.
question.
We don't weigh. We don't weigh it. We don't measure it. What do? We eat fatty meat, so things like bacon and 80-20 ground beef and ribeye and pork belly and that kind of stuff. If we're eating something that we know is lean, like chicken breast, we just make sure we eat a bunch of butter or we have butter in our coffee. We use mayonnaise, things like that to know that we're having more fat. But we honestly don't weigh or measure anything we eat. We just start off with fatty meat and then use butter for flavor or for cooking. Our advice is always the minimum you should be eating is 1 gram of fat to 1 gram of protein. If you are like weighing stuff out, and increase fat from there. And considering nobody should be eating less than about 100 grams of protein a day. Now, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals, but I've done a lot of research on this, and it's also our experience. You should be eating at least 100 grams of protein a day, which means you should be eating at least 100 grams of fat, and that's a bare minimum. Yeah. Like, you should probably be like closer to 150 or even 200 grams of fat. That's why we say with Keto Chow, you should be using at least 3 to 4 tablespoons of melted butter or 3 to 4 ounces of heavy whipped cream if that's the way you're going, because it's supposed to be a meal. And that would make, if you did 4 ounces of heavy whipping cream or 4 tablespoons of melted butter, that would make that meal about 525 calories. That's, again, on the low side, because if you were doing 3 of those, that's only about 1,600 calories a day, which is honestly not enough for most people.
Right.
So.
And it's hard to wrap your mind around that because we are so used to, you know, that standard American diet, you know, like you'd get, it's the palm of your hand and that's how much protein, you know, that you need. That is bologna. That is a bologna sandwich right there. Don't buy it. You know, these palms, they're for high fives. Yep. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
That's
know
a rule in our marriage.
That's right. You can't leave your spouse
you cannot leave your spouse, your partner, you know, hanging on a high five.
Quick fade to black. Come back with the rest of the chat.
Don't leave me hanging either. If we go to like KetoCon and I see you, please don't leave me hanging on a high five, okay? Like I'm really putting myself out there. Don't let me down.
Okay, Kelly, this is a really good question.
Bring it, Kelly.
When you were doing the Keto Chow Challenge, which was 2019, so 4 years ago.
Okay.
How much extra protein were you adding each day? I'm dying and I'm still hungry.
I dined and I'm still hungry after my shake.
So for a couple things about that, when we did that Keto Chow Challenge, we were challenged by Chris, because if you did not know this or had not seen this, we had done a review of Keto Chow about 4 months prior. And we're like, it's good, but not for us. The reason it wasn't for us is I was not, and still believe that you should not do a liquid-only diet.
Unless you absolutely have to.
Unless
for
you're like
medical
reasons like teeth problems or something like that. But if you're trying to lose weight, you should not be doing only Keto Chow. I firmly believe that, because if you do that, you will probably lose weight. But you haven't dealt with your food issues. So as soon as you stop that and go back to food, you're probably going to gain your weight back because you haven't really understood the feeling of fullness and dealt with your food issues and things like that. But the other thing that we didn't like about it was, at the time, they only said use avocado oil or heavy whipping cream. And we were like, heavy whipping cream's got too many carbs, avocado oil's too expensive. We met Chris and Miriam that July at KetoCon, and they were like, Chris is like, I discovered you can use melted butter. Well, that changed everything. He's like, well, I challenge you to do it for a week. So we only did it for a week. So we only ate Keto Chow for the week. It was just, how will we feel on it? We were also doing a minimum of 4 ounces of heavy whipping cream and 4 tablespoons of butter. That was the minimum that we were doing. So we were at a minimum of 1,600 calories for the week, or for the day each person. And again, it was only a week. I'm okay in that instance. That's about 75 grams of protein. And then we went back to eating our regular food. If you're going to do that, I think you're fine. But if you're going to do it more than that, the best thing to do is eating cans. Like, I would eat a can of chicken breast sometime during the day, or a can of tuna fish, or maybe shrimp. Like, shrimp is very high in protein. Adding that kind of stuff. So that's where I would go with that. But I would not do Keto Chow only as your source of losing weight. Have a Keto Chow or maybe 2 for those times where you're super busy, and then eat good fatty meat.
Now, I did see, thank you, Becca Price, for letting us know that Betsy Briggs is going to have to put down her service dog,
I'm so
Portia, today. So thoughts for her. If you're in the Two Crazy Ketos family group and you know Betsy's been a long time subscriber and just a really good friend, let's love on her today. Just kind of reach out. If you've messaged her before, go ahead and message her, because this is a devastating moment. We just don't want her to have to go through that alone.
Yeah. Okay, next one is from Emilio.
Hey, Emilio. Hey, Two Crazy Ketos family. Quick question. I am taking Inner C packages dissolved in water. That's like an immunity booster thing for colds. It's great for antioxidants and electrolytes, but I just noticed it has 5 grams of sugar, I believe dextrose. Will this amount of sugar kick me out of ketosis? I found a sugar-free version, but they sweeten it with erythritol, and I was thinking of cutting that out of my diet. I definitely would kick the dextrose before you deal with the erythritol.
So, okay. We got to talk about what is ketosis. Ketosis is not keto, okay? Ketosis is when your body is using ketones for fuel, whether it's making it or you're ingesting them with like an exogenous ketone. Ketosis, being in ketosis, is not your body creating ketones. That is ketogenesis. There is a difference, but people use the words interchangeably. If you consume sugar, dextrose, 5 grams of it, you will, regardless of what your keto mojo says,
right,
not be in ketosis. Why? Oxidative priority says when you are going to eat something, the first thing your body will deal with is alcohol. So if you take alcohol, you are not in ketosis. Your keto mojo meter could say you have 3.0 ketones. You are not in ketosis if you drink alcohol. You're just not, because your body is using the alcohol for fuel. It's got to get rid of it. It can't store it. It's a poison. After that, it uses exogenous ketones. That's why exogenous ketone companies can say you can eat an Oreo cookie and drink this and you'll be in ketosis.
That's right.
They're not lying, because you're using ketones for fuel. Now, they're not ketones your body made. It's not coming from your fat, but you are using ketones for fuel. So they're not lying. It's a technicality. It will impact your journey. The next thing is protein, but it's using protein for building blocks, not for fuel.
I don't want to use that.
Then carbohydrates. So sugar is a carbohydrate. So if you consume sugar before your body gets to using ketones for fuel, it's going to burn off the sugar. So you would be temporarily out of ketosis. Even if your Keto Mojo meter says you've got a 1.0 or whatever it says, you need to ditch the sugar because it's going to impact you no matter what. Ditch the sugar. Energy C, there's no such thing as a keto food. There's keto friendly. That is not keto friendly. There are plenty of options out there for electrolytes. Redmond Relight, we absolutely love that. And they're changing their formulation so that it dissolves even better or just like Element. So it's going to be more of a powder. That's the biggest problem with Redmond Relight for most people is it clumps up.
Mixing.
It's the magnesium. It takes a lot longer to mix. So Element doesn't. Well, Redmond is changing their formulation. It's coming out this spring. Hopefully they're going to have it at KetoCon where it mixes better. So Redmond Relight, Element, Keto Chow electrolyte drops, Keto Chow capsules.
Those drops are going to have...
Those are where you need to go.
No sweetener. So like if you're like, hey, I don't want to have dextrose and I don't want to have erythritol, go Keto Chow route.
Yeah.
You're not going to have anything, no sweetener in that. And then you can put it in anything. I can't put a lemon lime, Element pack into my coffee, but I can have a couple of drops of Keto Chow into my coffee because there's just no flavor to it.
Yeah. Now, as far as the one you're sweetening with erythritol, it depends on how much you're going to use. But I personally would stick with ones that have 0 total carbs or 2 total carbs that are coming from maybe whatever the flavoring is, like Element. Some of them have 2 or 3 carbs, but it's not a sugar alcohol. A lot of sugar alcohols, if you're taking a lot of it, it will affect you and it will affect your gut. We're not against erythritol, but I think that there's enough options out there for electrolytes that don't have erythritol that you don't need to have it there. But you do want to pay attention to how much you're having, which is why we believe in counting total carbs, including the carbs in erythritol. This way you don't consume too much of it. Next one is from Patricia.
Hey Patricia, I'm trying a different approach. Instead of fasting, I'm limiting my eating to a designated period of time. I know, same thing, but limiting my eating to 4 to 6 hours sounds more appealing than fasting for 20 to 18 hours.
It's a mindset thing.
You're not wrong. Again, this is the focus. Instead of focus on what you lack access to, right? Like if you're focusing on, I don't get to eat for 18 hours, you can get in a very feeling of deprivation. But if you're like, I am going to enjoy a 4 to 6 hour eating window, now my focus is on not the lack that I have, but on when I can eat, and I celebrate that. And honestly, that works for me as well. Sometimes even thinking about 2 to 3 meals a day, if the number of meals may be upsetting to you. So an eating window sounds more, I don't know, warm and welcoming. If I think you get to eat for 6 hours today, well, that's pretty, you know what I mean? That doesn't feel restrictive.
Here's why I like this better. You hear us say this a lot. Eat to your body, not to your watch.
Right.
When we say, I'm going to fast for 20 to 18 hours, what happens is we go, okay, well, I'm fasting for 18 hours. And at
hour 17,
10 o'clock in the morning, we start going, I am really hungry. My body is telling me I need to eat, but my watch says you have to wait 2 more hours. That's not a good thing. You're messing with your satiety hormones. If your body is you are ravenously hungry and you really need to eat, you should eat and go, okay, now for the next 4 to 6 hours, I can eat.
Yeah.
Instead of going, I can't eat because my watch says I can't.
Don't eat.
So by having a 4 to 6 hour eating window, it is different than fasting for 20 to 18 hours or 18 to 20 hours because that would allow you. So today I'm going to eat for 4 to 6 hours And then, you know what? Maybe my first meal is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but the next morning you're like, I did a lot of work yesterday. I went on a long dive yesterday. And you wake up at 9 in the morning and go, I'm really hungry. Well, that may only be a 12-hour break. So there you eat until you're stuffed because you're going to feast during those 4 to 6 hours. And then you probably won't need to eat until the next morning. And then you may even go longer. I mean, we have days where we go 48 hours without eating. We have other days where we don't go more than 10 because we just listen to our body.
Yeah.
Next one is from Jeannie.
Hey, Jenny. I know we should be counting total carbs, but I was wondering about carbs from erythritol. I like to use packets of Truvia, a granular sweetener that the ingredients are erythritol, stevia leaf extract, and natural flavors. The total carbs per pack is 2 grams and the erythritol is 2 grams. I personally think it's very important to count total carbs and face it.
You're being nice. Yes, you have to count them.
I am somebody that can really I'm the reason why Weight Watchers tries to do 0 point food. Because if you tell me that this experience didn't happen, that you somehow got away with it, that I drank this drink and yes, it had 2 total carbs, but it was like, there's 2 grams of sugar alcohols, therefore it canceled it out. It's like that didn't even happen. Then I can really run with that. So I think that it
allows you to have a lot more than
like
is good for you.
Yeah. Just a sanctuary for like not good thoughts. And I will bring that over into not just a beverage, but then suddenly it sneaks into
Your
like
gum?
a snack. My gum is definitely that way.
If you are a gum chewer, Rachel is a gum chewer.
Right.
Well, most gums that are keto friendly are sweetened with xylitol. Xylitol is a sugar alcohol. So I think most pieces of gum have 2 total carbs. The problem with gum is xylitol is not 0 on the glycemic index. So no matter what, you are having an insulin reaction when you chew a piece of gum. Mm-hmm. You are, because it's a small one, but you are having an insulin reaction because it's like 13 on the glycemic index. If you don't count those sugar alcohols in the gum, you're going to chew 2 or 3 packs a day. If you might. Because you're like, well, it's nothing. It didn't happen. But every time you have that piece, something's happening.
Right.
If you're constantly producing insulin all throughout the day, you're going to struggle with weight loss because you can't lose weight in the presence of insulin. It's a fat storing hormone. It's a growth hormone. So, but sugar alcohols, you'll end up getting like, oh, I can have a whole lot. And it really comes into play when you look at like keto desserts, because you're sweetened with that, and you'll have something that's got like 25 grams of sugar alcohols and be like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to count those, and now this thing that was like 28 total carbs is only 3 total carbs. But here's the problem. Most of the time, those keto desserts have a lot of fat in it, which is fuel, and all of a sudden you go like, well, I can have 6 of these because I've only eaten 10 total carbs, 10 net carbs with this. But you just ate 1,000, calories in cupcakes.
Right.
You just ate 100 grams of fat in cupcakes and haven't had a piece of beef. One of the desserts that we've always said that we really like, especially early on, and once in a while we'll still have one, is Smart Cakes. Well, Smart Cakes are like 70 total calories or something like that.
No, it's like 35.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the package.
Oh, yeah, the 2.
Because who's eating only one, right?
Yeah.
So 70 calories.
The package has been opened.
The problem is
getting consumed.
It's 18 total carbs and 0 net. Which means if you're a calorie counter, you can go, well, I can have 10 packs of these, 700, and that's still only 780
700 calories for 10 packages of cupcakes.
And that I didn't have any carbs.
Right.
But you did consume I think it's like 16, so whatever that comes out to be, like 160 total carbs. Right, that's going to affect you.
Yeah.
So count the carbs in the erythritol.
Ain't gonna hurt.
So that you don't overconsume it.
There you go.
It's not that it's bad for you. It's you don't want to overconsume it. Next one is from Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, help. I'm 3 weeks into strict keto, mostly ketovore, after falling off the wagon big time for several months this winter. I'm craving carbs tremendously, and I'm dealing with major fatigue. My blood ketones are around 0.5, but I'm really close to going back to binging on sugar again. I did ketovore pretty well last year and lost over 25 pounds. Dealt with major itching from oxalate dumping for several weeks, but that cleared up nicely. I'm glad to hear that. But I had major abdominal surgery last fall and ended up binging on sugar again during my long recovery. What can I do to reduce this terrible craving? Can I answer this one first?
Yep.
I would say that I do best when I am full, when I have led with a good amount of fatty protein and there is not room for more. If I am full and satiated, I'm like, And then even if, like, let's say my plan is not to eat a keto dessert, right? Because again, like the sugar thing is out. Like, I mean, but there's carbs even in a keto dessert. So I'm going to assume that you're going to be like, I'm not even bringing anything that's like a sugar treat into my house, but a keto dessert that's made with sugar alcohols, okay? They've got carbs in them too. If I am full and satiated, I may eat one of them, but I won't be eating 5 of them. And I am guilty in the past, even on keto, of being able to consume an entire box of keto treats in one sitting.
Right.
So, but if I am full first with protein and fat from good fatty cuts of meat, and I'm satiated, then I'm much less likely to do something I don't want to do.
Yeah. So I don't need to say anything else. Next one is from C. Bromley.
Veggies allowed on a ketogenic diet? I have a hard time digesting a lot of the low carb ones, unfortunately. Any suggestions would be so welcome.
Are vegetables allowed on keto? Yes. Stay away from the starchy vegetables, things like peas, carrots. Now, if you have half of a carrot in your stew, you're fine.
Right.
It's sitting down with a bowl of carrots. That's where you may get into problem because there's a starch in there. Starch is a sugar that will affect you. But you know, we've gotten comments that I make coleslaw and there's shredded carrot in there. It's not affecting you. It's
Calm
just not. Okay, calm down a little bit. But overall, you should focus on green leafy vegetables, things with fiber in it. Asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower, collard greens, kale. If you're into kale, no thank you for me. Lettuce, cucumbers, celery. That stuff is all fine. If you're going to have something starchy, I would stay away from potatoes. Tomatoes, which is actually a fruit, not a vegetable. Peppers, which is actually a fruit, not a vegetable. Just limit it. Just know and stay with the ones that are like not sweet. Our rule is generally if it grows in the ground, it's got to be very limited. We stay away from all potatoes, even sweet potatoes. Onions are used sparingly for flavor, which the cool thing is we found that over the last 6 years, I don't need nearly as much.
Yeah.
I don't need as much. Like a quarter of an onion goes a lot further than what a whole onion used to because you really detect the flavor.
I used to like brown up a pound of hamburger. I need an entire Vidalia onion for that 1 pound of ground beef. So it's really interesting how much our tastes have changed.
Now, if veggies bother you, don't eat them.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You're going to get more vitamins and nutrients from your meat. Make sure you're eating good fatty meat, focusing on ruminant animals. Amy, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Said, I just tried Keto Chow and I love it. I noticed it's high in protein. No, it's kind of low in protein.
Yeah.
I try to eat 3-to-1 fat to protein. Can I make it this way? I have autoimmune disease, hence 3-to-1. So a serving of Keto Chow only has 25 grams of protein.
Yeah.
So if you use 4 tablespoons of butter, you're going to be somewhere around almost 2-to-1, I think is where it works out to be. But if you're only drinking Keto Chow, that's only 75 grams of protein a day. That is not enough. So if you are a person who's trying to eat a lot of fat to protein, especially if you're working for doing things like Becca for like brain function
or Rachel
or Rachel, things like that, you don't lower your protein to get a 3-to-1 ratio. You increase the fat.
There you go.
You don't lower your protein. They are not on a string. There is not this string that goes...
A seesaw?
Well, I like string because that's how I officiate sports. You know, like when we officiate like lacrosse, you have a lead and a trail, and you say you're on a string. If the lead goes out, the trail comes in. If the lead comes in, the trail goes out. Like you're on a string, and so they don't have to be synonymous. You don't have to be like, oh, well, I need more fat in my diet, so I lower my protein.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. That's going to affect you in a negative way. Eat at least 80 to 100 grams of protein minimum, and then eat more fat.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to tell you again, we're not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. You're not going to notice a difference, and your body is not going to really notice a huge difference if one day you only eat 2.5 times the protein to fat to protein.
Yeah.
Like if one day you ate 83% fat and the next day you eat 90% fat, your body doesn't notice the difference. It doesn't, because it doesn't work that quickly. Next one is from Kathy.
Hey, Kathy, I've been feeling not so great over the last couple of weeks. The scale hasn't moved, some aches and pains have resurfaced, and just feeling overall stagnant. On Friday, I was walking out to get a student off the bus and ran into the parent of a former student of mine. She said, I almost didn't recognize you, Skinny Minnie, and said how great I look. It was in that moment that I remembered I've come far in the last 14 months, and even more importantly, I have not given up. I'm still working on my overall health, and I will succeed. I am
That is
worth
awesome.
it. Well, and that's the thing. A lot of times, look for the joy. Look for things that you enjoy. If you find yourself like, I feel like I'm drifting back into like aches and pains, it's not just what's happening on your plate. It's what's happening in your mind. It's what's happening in your sleep. We just got through another time change. It's so hard on people. We just really minimize that. It's hard to get used to just an hour difference, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can have some aches and pains. We're going to start, thawing out, right, as the winter comes. I was talking to Heather Gift, and she said it has been crazy where she lives, where it was literally within 2 days, it had gone from being 80 degrees to being 40 degrees and snowing.
Right.
Like, that is very hard on our body. So it's not just like the food that we're consuming, but it's also like environmental factors. So for you to be like, wow, that statement of focusing on how far I've come elevated my mood and that made the difference, then look for those things that are going to elevate your mood, because that will make a difference on your aches and pains even, right? It's like that will help you to feel better overall.
Yeah. Next one is from Sarah. Sarah said, for those of you who are going to KetoCon, I've set up an email for those of you who are interested in meeting up at the conference, dining out, and for those interested in biking around town and other fun activities. Email me at meetupketoCon23@gmail.com. I just wanted to shout this out.
Yes, please do. It's a Two Crazy Ketos takeover. Let's be honest, right? I feel like the one thing that we could do to help is to create it's a small world after all at KetoCon, right? And I think that helps because it's such a great big conference. It might be nice to be able to sit together at talks. It might be nice to be able to walk around together when you're exploring the vendors. It might be nice to go to lunch together or go to dinner together. But, there's so many people at KetoCon, like, you may not know, who am I looking for? It's not like we walk around with our email, like our YouTube handles on our forehead, right? So email that, email Sarah G, message her on Mighty Networks, let her know you're going to be coming to KetoCon and you might be interested in walking around and hanging out, So I think that there's a lot of fun potential for us to not just gain information at KetoCon, but to get some family time at KetoCon.
Yeah. Next one is from Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
CGM update. Whenever I eat non-carby foods, my glucose will drop from 90s down to the 60s. Today I am fasting. I woke up and my glucose from 112 went to 114 when I had my coffee. Big deal right now. It's not a big deal. But then it lowered to 95. It's been pretty consistent all morning. I thought since I hadn't eaten in over 16 hours that it should be dropping slowly or something. But my glucose is sitting pretty. No drops or spikes. What do y'all think of this? No, I am not on many medications. Again, not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. Remember, in the morning when you wake up for about 2 hours, you're going to have an elevated glucose, completely normal. It's called the dawn phenomenon. If you don't have it, we have a problem.
Right.
Okay? All animals, and we're an animal, have a dawn phenomenon. Dr. Berry actually talked about this last year when we were in Orlando as part of his talk. And he also talked about it at the PhD summit.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
definitely.
So you want a dawn phenomenon. It's a good thing. It's your body's fight or flight response. It's how it gets moving. If you encounter a lion, you want to be able to run away.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so it's going to create quick fuel. We talked about this with Dr. Lenskis. You notice he wears a CGM. If he works out, his glucose goes up. Why? The body's giving it energy. That's a normal thing.
And a good thing.
So you eat non-carby foods, my glucose will drop from 90s to the 60s. That could be a lot of things. It means you're having an insulin response and you've got a flat glucose, and it's creating probably a little bit of extra insulin. You may be either super insulin sensitive or your body is still healing. It will usually level out. Eventually what you'll see, it depends on, I don't know how long you've been doing keto or having issues like this, but what will happen is eventually you're going to see a pretty flat going, except for in the morning or if you work out, or like if I take a shower, my glucose will go up. Those are all normal things. Sitting at 95, it's not a bad thing.
Right.
My personal experience, if I fast, especially those first 18 to 24 hours, my glucose doesn't really get affected. It starts going down after 24 hours. But it also depends on how fat adapted you are. If you're not very fat adapted, if you haven't been doing this for a long time, sometimes you're going to have a little bit higher glucose because your body's going to start using your muscle or protein or things like that to create glucose because it's not used to using fat yet. The longer you're fat adapted, the more your body's like, oh, I can resort to fat, at which point it won't have a higher glucose unless it needs it. But your body will make glucose whenever it needs it. Next one is from Linda.
Hey Linda, at what point do you start reducing fat intake so your body burns more stored fat? I'm mostly carnivore, allowing myself a low carb veggie every now and then. I'm eating mostly beef, but occasionally pork, shrimp, or chicken thighs. I'm eating more fat than protein, but starting to think it makes sense that if I keep feeding fat, my body won't use stored fat for fuel. Suggestions? I'm still so very new to this way of eating. I weigh and measure the first of the month. I'm currently down 17 and a half pounds and 12 and a half inches. My waist to height ratio went from 75% to 66%.
Wow.
This is incredible. The 12.5 inches is where I want you to focus because especially for me, I lost so many more inches before I lost pounds. But if you get your eye on pounds lost, that can get very depressing as you start to see like, oh, it feels like things are slowing down.
Right.
But things may not be slowing down. It's just you need to be measuring areas.
So I want to answer the question of when should you start reducing fat? When you hit a stall for a long period of time. And what is a long period of time? A couple months. However, that's not always the case either, because if you've been under eating and you hit a stall, cutting out the fat may help you for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Then you're going to hit another stall because you've been under eating. Eventually, you have to increase the amount of food you're eating, sit there for a little while, and then start lowering it down. But the cool thing is when you lower it down, you're eating more than you are eating. So let's say you're eating 1,800 calories a day now, and you're losing weight. You hit a stall for about 3 or 4 weeks minimum. That's the minimum before you make this change. And you go, okay, I want to reverse it back up. So now for the next 2 months, you start increasing it 25 to 50 calories a day. You get up to about 2,400 calories. You sit there for 2 or 3 weeks eating that much. You won't be gaining weight. You probably won't be losing, but you won't be really gaining weight. Then what you do is you drop it down to I'm only eating 2,200 calories. So now you're eating 400 calories more than you were before, but you start losing weight because you've sped up your metabolism. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you are still having results, do not lower the amount of fat you're eating. You're going to lower the amount of fuel you're giving, which is going to end up slowing up your metabolism. If you are currently losing more than a pound a week after the first 2 weeks. If you're in the first 2 weeks, that's different. You're losing a bunch of water weight. But after, if you're 2 months into keto and you're still losing more than a pound a week, you're probably not eating enough food.
Yeah.
And you need to increase the amount
And
of
I know
fat.
that sounds crazy, but like you should share, because like Keto Savage, Robert Sykes, is about to embark on something
He wants to be the leanest man alive.
Hello. Now, if you saw how much, like, he probably right now is going to be coming down from like,
When he preps for doing competitions, if you don't know who Robert Sykes is,
Yeah.
he's the creator of Keto Brick. He is a natural competitive bodybuilder. You want to know about how to do a reverse diet where you start increasing the amount of food you eat, that's who to go look at. Okay,
Yeah.
He's got a channel. It's Keto Savage on YouTube, but he knows what he's doing with the body. I mean, the man has got an amazing knowledge of the physiology of the human body. He'll be speaking at KetoCon as
yes,
well.
he's amazing.
So, and I love him and his wife Crystal, and they were a huge benefit to Michelle with having the baby. But the thing is like when he's getting ready to do a contest prep where he's going to start cutting down fat to get shredded and get like 5% or less body fat. For the last few months, he's been eating ridiculous amounts of food so that he can have that really sped up metabolism and then start cutting it down. You don't want to be eating 2,000 calories and try to get to 5% body fat. You're going to be miserable if you're eating 1,000 calories.
Right, but if he's going from like 5,000 calories and like lowering it every week,
he's at right now.
He's gotten a place where he's just like, steady. And he is actually, they're having a giveaway. So like if you are
I want to buy Keto Brick just to try to win the
I
Yogurt
know.
Grill.
So like we have a link for Keto Brick. If you're interested in purchasing a brick right now, use the link. That's going to give you $12 off your order, but every single time you order right now, it enters you into a contest for like a crazy
it's like the best
of
smoker
equipment.
you can buy.
It's like, that's a crazy smoker.
It's the best smoker you can buy. I can't afford a
Yoder.
I can't afford a Yoder. Juju, thank you for the $5
Hey.
super chat. Is an organic with sugar marinade powder packet with 6 total carbs better or worse than sugar-free raised barbecue sauce at $37 per bottle? I'm constantly overthinking. I would always go with Sweet Baby Ray's over a marinade that has added sugar. The barbecue sauce that you're looking at from like Sweet Baby Ray's and things like that, those are natural sugars occurring usually from the tomatoes and things like that. Most of the Sweet Baby Ray's uses like sucralose. When you get into those marinade powdered packets, there's usually added sugar like dextrose and maltodextrin, which is worse than sugar. I'm not just looking at the carbs, I'm looking at the ingredients. That's what I look at. I was talking to Tasha over the weekend because we've been trying to help her dad who had some severe diabetic issues. And she was asking me questions about things. And I said, when I look at something, even if you're not keto, look at the label. Is there added sugar? Throw it out.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one thing if you eat ketchup, okay? I like ketchup. I like ketchup on eggs. I know Rachel hates ketchup.
What's wrong with you?
But I look at a bottle of ketchup.
On eggs?
5 total carbs in a serving. Okay? Then I look over at another one, and that one's got 4 total carbs, but it's got 2 grams of added sugar. I'm buying the 5 total carbs. Remember, they mess with serving sizes. Rachel picked up a bag of peanuts yesterday in Wawa. She was like, I had
same size.
One packet of peanuts was spicy.
Right.
And one was plain peanuts. And she was like, well, the spicy one's got lower carbs. I'm like, let's look at the serving size.
And then
now,
I was like,
5 years in, right?
Right.
Look at the serving size. The packet that had spicy or hot peanuts had 2.5 servings in the packet. The packet that had nothing added was just 1 serving.
1 serving.
All peanuts have the same carbs. There's no magic between this peanut and that peanut. I don't care what company it is. It's the same carbs.
Right.
They're messing with serving and rounding.
Well, and we've definitely found that in tomato sauces. So you'll have a tomato sauce in the same product line. It's the same company.
Oh my gosh, we're behind.
And you will see that it's like on one of them, you're thinking it's lower carbs, but the serving size is a 1/2 cup on one, and it'll be a 1/4 cup on the other.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just crazy. So make sure you're checking serving sizes.
Yep. One more from Ben.
Hey, Ben.
I remember when it was tough to walk around the block. I certainly didn't finish first, but I finished. Just keep going.
Ben,
Did a
oh
5K.
my gosh, like that blessed my heart so much.
Somebody else is doing a 5K this year.
I know. I'm gonna be doing a 5K this year with Michelle. I'm excited about it. But what I loved, and I hope that you take this into the week, whatever your goals are for the week, say this to yourself: I may not finish first, but I am gonna finish.
That's right.
That is the most powerful thing, Ben. Like that is something that's gonna be with me this week. Like, am I going to have the most weight loss of anybody in the keto space this week? Am I going to just like be the most perfect? No, but I'm gonna finish. I may not finish first, but I am gonna finish. I thought that was just brilliant. Congratulations.
Let's do a few comments before we get off. Tustin said, today on Sesame Street, I mean, too crazy keto. C is for cookie.
C is for cookie. That could be a meat cookie also.
Mary said, I love roller coasters. We will have to scream on one together one
I
day,
would
Rachel.
love that.
Like the 100-year-old wooden one in Vancouver. Nary a bar to hold on you.
What?
I don't do wooden roller coasters.
That is the thing too. It's like a lot of the roller coasters that were at like Busch Gardens and SeaWorld, it was just a lap bar. When you are used to like being strapped in with shoulder straps, you start to think like this is better, right? And so when it was just a lap bar, I'm like, is this thing like safe? I don't know. It just added to the scariness.
Francis here said, finally got a live stream. It's been a minute.
So glad to see you, Francis.
Amber said, I've been focusing
Amber.
on my eating after slacking for a while. I always stay active but my choices have not been the best. On day 5, back on track.
Way to go. And again, I love what Ben said. I may not finish first, but I am going to finish. And that's the thing to focus on. Like this week, it does not matter what eating choices you made last week, last month, last year, a decade ago. There is nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing you can change it. But this week, you do have control. This week, you can make good choices.
Diane said, I just
Hi,
came
Diane.
back from a weekend visit to Magic Kingdom. I'm very happy to say that I was able to stay ketovore.
Way to go.
The only difficulty was no ice treats that were not sugar-free.
90 degrees. Yeah,
But you did it.
You did it, and I will again. That's actually a really good thing to keep in mind. If you are going to be, this is like the first time that you're going to be doing spring and summer activities. You're somebody that's used to like dealing with the heat by eating something cold. Make sure that you have a good insulated bottle with like ice cold water that you can have with you. You know, maybe buy some of those like spritzer bottles for a fun park, buy one of those like towels that like keep you cold, because you still want to cool down during the summer, but you may need to reach for different help for that.
So I'm going to give you a real trick. I want to get to the rest of these comments, but I'm going to give you a good trick that I use
From
with
a landscaper?
Kids. No, well, not from landscape. Well, I've used it on landscaping too, but especially I use it when I'm officiating with football because it gets really hot in August here. So if you take some water, if you're hot, and pour it on your wrist, you'll cool down. Not over your head, on your wrist.
Right.
It immediately cools you down.
It's very
it's
interesting.
Like a pressure point.
Go do that if you even like, oh my gosh, I love it with just like a little, like an ice cube too.
Yeah. Your mom's here said,
Hey,
hey, not
Mommy.
to brag, but remember this great grandmother kept up with you guys, and I got up at 6:30.
That is absolutely, yeah. So this morning, up at 6:30, not sleeping in.
Diane said, I was able to walk the Magic Kingdom from open to close on Saturday. I need a new hip, but baby,
I rocked it.
Thank you for being here to support us to celebrate.
I love that, Diane. Congratulations.
Kimberly.
Hey, look at that beautiful smile.
Quick question. Joe said coming from Florida, but in your show notes it has a Florida mailing address. I'm a little confused. What I meant was living in Florida, we're used to natural disasters. We have hurricanes.
Yeah.
We've gone through a lot of hurricanes. And even though people think about Florida being a tornado place, we get a lot of tornadoes. Not like the Midwest. Nothing like the Midwest. But especially when we have hurricanes or summer storms, many times it brings tornadoes. And so, like I did my house years ago, my old house before Rachel was hit by a tornado. Like Rachel said, we've had a tornado hit.
My grandparents,
jump over our house.
A tornado took out their entire street.
But we know what it's like to go through natural disasters, lose things, be without power, and so our hearts really go out to those people. What for said, if you are ketovore adapted, do you need to eat after donating blood? If so, would a keto chow or beef jerky be sufficient? I'm not going to eat the sweets they put out.
Great.
In my experience, no. Now, again, I'm not a doctor, but what ends up happening is they say you have low blood sugar when you donate blood. So in my experience, that I did not need anything. I know Kerry, you might want to message him.
He donates a lot.
He donates a lot. But my experience is no, and there is no way you're going to get me to drink orange juice. It's just not going to happen.
And I didn't experience it either. I haven't had like where I'm like super dizzy or anything after donating blood.
Joanna said, I stopped my gum chewing when I found this out. I had no idea when I was on Weight Watchers, and now know why it took 6 months to lose 15. I mean, here's the thing. Like, and again, their idea is keep you on here. I don't think they want you to lose weight. Okay?
Yeah.
But an egg is 0 points. That doesn't mean you can have 50 eggs, right? But when it's 0 point, it's 1. That's 1. But nobody multiplies it out. They just go, well, it's 0 points, so I'm going to eat 6 eggs. Look, I still ate no points. Well, that's going to affect you. It's going to affect you.
Well, it's, again, you're leveraging different, because, I was talking to Michelle this weekend, and she is a moderator married to an abstainer.
Oh, Chris said he only drinks water after donating blood.
I am an abstainer. Like, if I can't do things in moderation, like, what is it that Chris says? It's like 1 is too many and 10 is not enough. Right? Like, so so things that I have trouble with, I will just absolutely go all in. And so Michelle was like, I can eat 1 cookie. I'm the reason why they have, like, because she likes those Aldi cookies, the keto cookies that are kind of like mimic the high key cookies.
Right.
And she's like, I'm the reason why they have the Ziploc top on the bag, because I can eat 1, close the bag again.
Well, Alyssa and John with the Smart Cake said, I only eat 1.
There you go.
Yeah, see,
so
not me.
there's
no
lesson,
way
John.
I'm opening that package. If I open it, either I'm having 1 and Rachel's having 1, or I'm eating them both.
If I lived with you guys, you would never be able to get anything, because you're like, okay, I'll get mine. I just get 1, and I'm like, I'm gonna have the other 9.
Yep. Mary said, I learned very early from Dr. Berry, total carbs on manufactured food. You can count net with broccoli. Broccoli
won't lie.
And we've always felt the same way. But again, we don't even really count carbs. We just look at, okay, I keep it, if I have something like, a Nola bar or something, okay, I had 1, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
But I don't really, if I have a salad, I'm not with a calculator going, well, this is 18 total carbs and 16 net carbs, or 16 grams of fiber. I don't worry about it. The salad's not what made me fat. What made me fat was when I was eating baked salads was the amount of salad dressing made with garbage oils that I was putting on top of it.
Well, and I think that is a good thing, reminder too. If you're like, you know what, I still don't want to count total carbs. Limit yourself to 1 thing. Mm-hmm. Limit yourself to 1 packaged thing. You don't want to count something? You get 1. Right. If you get 1 and you're like, okay, I don't need to, because sometimes maybe you can work out negotiation even in total carbs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like you don't need to count total carbs. You need to be like, I get 1. Right. I know what the problem is. Broccoli didn't make me fat.
Right.
What made me fat was like all of the garbage packaged stuff that was super sugary. The desserts is what I had a super duper issue with.
Brenda said, help,
hey,
I
Brenda.
Can't stop wanting jalapeno poppers with my meats. They've got to be stalling my weight.
Aww.
They probably are.
Okay.
Because I know they affect me. So, and why are they? Probably all the cream cheese. It's a lot of cream cheese. So
you might
limit yourself or try what we did the other day in the vlog that was released yesterday.
No cream cheese.
Stuff them with meat.
Stuff them with meat.
Also, what I've been doing is instead of wrapping with bacon, what I do is I put cream cheese and I pre-cook bacon and I chop it up and I put it in there, which means less cream cheese.
Yeah.
Because less fits in there.
Yeah.
Or doing a combination of cream cheese and meat and putting that in there. So just cutting back. I'm not saying cut out, but cut back the cream cheese. Now, if you're worried and you really want to know, like, are they stalling me? Go a month without them. That's one of the things we've done with beef, butter, bacon, and egg. I love jalapeno poppers. Rachel loves them. That is one of those things that, like, 1 is not enough and, 10 or 1 is too many and 10 is not enough. I'm not eating one. I'm not eating two.
I have never
It's
eaten
a minimum
one.
of 4 at a meal.
Right.
It's a minimum of 4 for me. Michelle, if I eat a meal at 9:30 a.m. and I finish at 9:50 a.m. and then I eat more at 10:15, does my insulin spike again, or is it considered? It's the same.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
We're overthinking things here. Okay, when you eat, your eating should probably take more than 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah, and make sure you're sitting down.
Sit down. Take your time.
Dedicate focus.
It takes
on
20
that.
minutes for your stomach to know that you're full. So your eating should be close to an hour at least. So yeah. And again, and if you're only eating one meal a day, who cares? It takes 3 hours. It doesn't matter. Look at it like you don't want to have an insulin reaction at 9 a.m. and then have another one at 1 o'clock and then another one at 5 o'clock and then another one at 9 o'clock. Limit it to 2 or 3, okay? But yeah, we're overthinking here. Juju. Gluten-free, she just put this also in a super chat, but I'll put it in here anyway.
Yeah.
Gluten-free pre-made marinade powder packet situation, 6 total carbs for the whole packet, 2 pounds with meat worth, has organic sugar. Is it better or worse than Sweet Baby 37 in a bottle? But again, it's
ingredients.
It's ingredients for me. Now, you're talking about 6 total carbs over 2 pounds. It depends on what you're going to do. You know, are you using a whole bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's with 2 pounds of ground beef? I hope not. That's going to affect you. It's not just a carb thing for me. If it was just how many carbs is it, I would eat the coconut clusters that they sell at Aldi, or not at Aldi, at Costco. But I don't eat them because they have coconut sugar in them.
Right.
Okay. So we are going to get off. We thank everybody for joining us.
Thanks for sharing your Monday with us.
We have a podcast that we need to go record. And
I'm
then
so
I have
excited.
a game later on this afternoon. Now, we will be back on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Everybody have a great week.
We love
Bye.
you.